Acts chapter 2, when the day of Pentecost or Shavuot had fully come, they were all together in one place. Uh, the they there speaking of the 120 in an upper room somewhere. They had been praying. They had been praying for multiple days, and as the day of Pentecost came, they were still there. They were still there praying, and suddenly, as the day came to fullness, suddenly like a mighty rushing wind that came from heaven, and it filled the whole house where they were sitting. I'll be honest with you, I'd love to see that happen. I would love to see a Holy Spirit wind come and just blow in. I can't say, I've seen some unusual things, but I've never seen a wind come into the service and begin to blow where you had no doubt, whoa, that was the Holy Spirit. But here they refer to it as a mighty rushing wind that came from heaven, and it filled the whole house where they were all sitting. I don't know what that might have been like, but then that wasn't the end of it. Then there appeared to them tongues, kind of like fire, that was distributed and rested on each of them and everyone. So apparently they were experiencing this. They felt the wind. They saw the fire, and it wasn't a fire that burnt them, but it was a fire that they could see, a wind and then a fire. And a lot of times biblically, and it reminds us, if you remember Israel, they were led by God year after year after year after year. A cloud by day, which kind of represents the wind, a pillar of fire by night, which to me is kind of really in a way the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. It was, and again, there's 120 people, different ages, men and women. And included in this room was Mary, the mother of Yeshua, Miriam, and probably some of his stepbrothers, whoever it might have been. We don't know exactly everybody by name in there. And notice what happens here. The wind comes, the fire comes, and they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit enabled them to speak, as the Spirit gave them the utterance, gave them the words to say, and they got loud. People began to hear them. So they were all filled. They all spoke in tongues.